in his own right, but he's coming off a subpar game against Duke last weekend. I think he's going to be a little bit upset at the way that game went about. And right off the first whistle, face-off violation against Syracuse.
Yeah, and LaSalle will like to stay on offense, and if Syracuse decides...
Might be a matchup problem for me if he wants to take my job. Tries to pass it in front. That pass goes wandering. Finn Thompson couldn't find it, so a turnover. These really cool throwbacks. We'll talk about them throughout the course of the game. Honoring the 80s success those teams had in that decade. They won 5 ACC titles in the 80s. Schutz scores!
He's not a throwback. He is a new age midfielder, Griffin Schutz. 6'3", 230 pounds. When he's feeling it, this offense goes to another gear. I mentioned the one quarterback. That's Connor Schellenberger with a beautiful pass to Schutz. Schellenberger always has his eyes up. He's got 5 offensive players who can fill it up to get teammates involved, and he has some finishers who only need the ball in their stick for a fraction of a second.
Connor tried to find a cutter. McConvey's going to give chase. He'll keep it in bounds. Still lots of time to shoot on that 80-second shot clock. Now at 25. Garno, he can shoot from distance. Instead, he feeds inside. And that is very typical of Xander Dixon.
Peter Garno, 33 in the throwback white. Not known as a big passer, only 2 assists on the season. And I was just saying moments ago, you give these finishers, Cormier and Dixon, the ball for a fraction of a second. It's a catch, it's a location of the cage, and it's a finish for Xander Dixon.
We talked about Will Mark in cage for Virginia. It's Will Nunes. He's having to make a save right there on the shot by Spolina. Gets it done. Nunes was forced to go up and didn't get a save, though. Now McConvey's going to spin, and he scores!
You want your goalie to feel comfortable in the early stages of a ball game. Matthew Nunes getting involved in the action. Your offense putting up their end of the bargain. He makes that stop. And Thomas McConvey on the other side, the fact that he actually drops this ball, he takes that ball and...
The thought of those champs with a great start, Kark, in getting this 3-0 lead here, trying to win their ACC championship this year, make it 4-0.
Garno, welcome to the party today. He had that early assist to Xander Dixon from up top. This time he goes behind, and if he gets involved in the offense, a plethora of other options for the Cavaliers. It could be scary. Garno has been dealing as a passer in the first quarter, and now as a scorer after you win a face-off, an absolute must.
Simmons, he'll look to dodge on the shorty. Try to feed it inside to Leo. And Syracuse once again. Miezon, that's a full head of steam. Quick in front, twister, and a goal for Xander Dixon.
You know, we like to talk about finishing ability in the hands of Xander Dixon, in the hands of Peyton Cormier. But what strikes me the most about Xander Dixon is how he times his cuts. He times his cuts to perfection. The anticipation of knowing when, because normally he has the best of Jake Naso from Duke, who's an exceptional face-off guy. That was the first time Naso had the best of him.
Wow, look at that. Beautiful passing, like eyes in the back of their heads. Right on the doorstep is Dixon again. That's a hat trick in the first quarter.
The passing is beautiful. And I was just bragging about Xander Dixon's ability to cut. This time he doesn't cut, but that's part of the equation here. He just slides behind the defense, knowing the soft spot. This is a fifth-year senior in Jeff Connor, who's been playing since his freshman year, to Xander Dixon, another
35s used to be.
It was the only color they had, right? Back
yeah. Finally, Syracuse gets on the board, and it's Cole Kirst who finds the back of the net.
He's been a bright spot. You could say he's been a surprise. What he also is a huge, strong human who can soak checks and run through bodies. This is Cole Kirst-esque. If you watch him on tape, he loves to dodge from the wing and up top. And when he does, he can sneak those shots. Leadership. He's able to galvanize the team, and he's taken all these young guys because they play a ton of freshmen. He's taken them all under his wing, and they will miss his leadership a year from now, but they'll also miss his play because he can own a one-on-one matchup.
22 goals this year, 55 goals in 5 years, including the COVID year at Lehigh. Inside goal, that's way too easy. This time it's the freshman Truett Sunderland. Sunderland says, you guys talking about all Syracuse's freshmen. There's a pretty good freshman here in Charlottesville. Truett Sunderland scores his 6th goal of the year.
Here's the problem for Cuse, Chris. They get the goal by Kirst, right? You feel like, okay, maybe there's some momentum changing here. Maybe they could get another one, make it 6-2. But when you're not winning any faceoffs, you're asking an exhausted defense to play defense again. And it looks like Syracuse is caught in between man and zone. They're in zone right there as the substitutions are lying.
More shots.
Oof. Talk about rubber.
Well, he's on his way for a 4th today. The way things were going in the first quarter here. They may change, and Hiltz with a beautiful look that gets by, and it ends up a Michael Leo goal. Nice pass.
Nice pass. How about incredible pass? He decides to take a shot to the backside. I'm like, where is this ball going? What is he thinking? Owen Hiltz, watch him right here, 77 in blue. Off his back foot, through like 2 sticks, and Michael Leo, who was the hero a week ago against North Carolina, the freshman with the game winner, two-handed cradle guy.
Kirst to the middle of the field. Pass couldn't be handled by Leo. Somebody stick breaks in half. Means an opportunity for Syracuse, and firing from the far side is Alex Simmons.
Grad transfer from the University of Denver, and he packs a mean punch with the righty. Laser here. Well, that looks like Bauer maybe with a slash. Kirst gets the ball, sticks snapped in half. Quint Kesnick's going berserk right now because he's so mad at all. Brian Tevlin from Notre Dame, that duo. Connor logs a ton of minutes. He plays on defense, he plays on offense. You could send him behind the cage, inverting. He'll play short stick defensive midfield. You talk about throwback jerseys, he's the throwback midi on this team.
Now Schutz. Behind it, Dixon. Goal line extended. We'll look to maybe get it to Schellenberger behind the cage. Instead, he comes up. Beautiful pass and a shot. What a great goal by Schutz.
Talk about unselfish play. This team is so good in terms of dissecting a defense and catching eyes. And what I mean by catching eyes is, you look at the ball, like look at the Syracuse guys right now. Everyone's occupied on the ball. And Landon Clary's looking at the ball. He's guarding Griffin Schutz, and Schutz is like, okay, you're gonna stare at the ball? I'm gonna backdoor you, and I'm gonna finish with a twister. And Lars Tiffany, he loves it.
Yeah, Clary's missed the better part of 5 games this year with a couple of different injuries. On that last play, he had the turnover, ball went out of bounds on a pass that the officials said deflected off a Syracuse player, and Gary Gait couldn't.
And being closer to the ball, like reward pressure, right? If you can't handle pressure, you're not getting the ball back. Now you could shoot from behind the midline and score.
Nunes has been sharp, hadn't he? Very few opportunities for Syracuse, and Nunes has been right on it. I mean, you work that hard to clear the ball, and then you give it right back to Virginia in a dangerous spot. Sin backing up inside. McConvey scores.
In a dangerous spot against a defense that is gassed. I said it earlier, if you're Cuse, you're not going to win a ton of faceoffs. You better clear the ball, and you better give your offense many opportunities with clean lacrosse. That is not clean lacrosse. Your defense is against the ropes. The Virginia offense knows it. They are...
Inside, that was beautiful work, Kark. Simmons finishes it off.
That's two-man game mastery, Cotter. Two Canadians who know how to play the two-man game as well as anyone. And this is what I just said with Lars Tiffany. He doesn't want to play against Syracuse in the 6-on-6 set because these guys are masterful in the way they handle the rock. It's the two-man game and the finish by Simmons. The Orange aren't going away yet. The other day in the gym, and I couldn't walk for 2 days.
Sure.
This guy, 969 wins. It's almost 2,000 face-offs he's had.
Mark lost it. Now he gets it back. Syracuse has got to get it past the midfield line at the 60-second mark. And that man, the football player, the linebacker from Stanford.
By the head. Let's see here. I mean, that looks like the clean hit.
Yeah, that's not it. So it was on Dixon on Mark.
Because that's a clean hit.
Call. Right. Talk about
that's exactly.
Kark.
Dixon gets a cross check. Yeah, there's the cross check. That's a good call. That is a very, very good call. And this is a good round. It pops off.
So now this deadly man up for a minute full time for Syracuse. Huge opportunity for the Orange. Can they get it started? They do. That's one from Simmons.
This extra man's ridiculous. That's why in the first quarter, Chris, I told you how big that face-off was when they had the extra man, because this is a unit that moves the ball and has mastered skip passes. Owen Hiltz now has two super elite skip passes in this game. One was off his back foot. This time he's centered, and he finds...
Syracuse still man up for another 16 seconds. Skip pass to the far side. Extra. Nunes makes the save on Spallina. Sostek gives chase. To his left. Now to Schutz. Slide comes. Double team. Schutz loses it. Can't pick it up. But
they timed it once Schutz decided to start his roll. And they were relentless when the ball hit the dirt.
And then they give it right back.
You cannot have that. You just make your best play of the day defensively to give it back to this offense.
And they make you pay like they almost always do, Kark.
That's awful. If you're Syracuse, you're going to turn on the tape, and this is going to make you sick. It's the basic transfers. Catching and throwing. Like, you have to demand more from your team right there. You make an incredible stop, and it's a basic transfer of a pass with no pressure on you. And then you give it to Mr. Automatic. I'm livid if I am...
Hiltz. Behind the back pass, now behind the back shot on the outside of the cage. Still though, Kirst is gonna get another look, and he said... Simmons trying to work on Soliday. Inside, that's Finn Thompson, but Nunes, sharp.
He's made some... Can't give this offense all those easy looks. You have to rest your defense if you're Cuse. You can't turn it over in the middle of the field.
Connor almost turns it over there, but picks it up off the turf. Dixon looking to dodge. Comes back upfield, gets a little bit of space and scores.
You saw him turn to the berm with his hands up. You know, he's saying to himself, oh, you thought I was just a finisher. You thought I don't have the shake. Well, what people probably don't realize, Xander Dixon was an ex-behind-the-cage attackman in high school. And then he turns into this incredible finisher. But he's got years in a foundation of making plays. Tape has been making plays, dodging, using that bottom shoulder right there.
A physical matchup of heavyweights. Leo will get the shot. Nunes goes down to make the save. Soliday on the clear. McConvey, quick pass. Cormier scores.
Remember in the first quarter, Cormier had a wide open shot and he missed it. This time it's like, how does he get this through the defense that's right in front of him? Number 2 in the nation in goals per game. 24 in white is a beautiful finisher. And this is great ball movement by Connor Schellenberger, and then the old teammate. They played together
today against North Carolina and South Bend. These two teams will match up again next week. Notre Dame and Virginia. Looking forward to that one in Charlottesville. Dixon getting roughed up a little bit, but keeps possession. He shoots and scores! Take that!
I've got one word to break down this goal. Patience. Tremendous patience by Xander Dixon. It looks like Brandon Aviles is winning this physical matchup. He knows, okay, I'm going to go back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, an over-aggressive defender who wants to play the body with another role, I can get him on his heels. That's exactly what he does. Attackmen know it better than anyone, right? Like Virginia's very slow to go, Chris. Very slow. Syracuse has to own a matchup. Virginia is not going to slide and play into the strength of Syracuse, which is an elite passing team. They're daring them to beat them one-on-one.
Bauer quickly. Schellenberger working on Alexo. Try to leave it for Xander Dixon.
It's good late lift by Alexo, 48 in blue, to disrupt that pass by Schellenberger.
Gate.
Kerr, speaking of brothers, something.
Yeah, Kerr shoots and scores. Well, his 4 brothers will be happy to see that.
Well, Cole Kirst has been the answer in terms of creating offense on his own. Virginia is daring Syracuse to dodge and score. Cole Kirst says, okay.
The Eagles, even without the greatest player in the history of the game in Charlotte North, who has moved on. She's now our colleague. CJ Kirst may be trying to take her job, too, at some point in time, if he doesn't own mine already. Turnover. Finally, Syracuse flips the script a little bit. They force the turnover.
Defense, because in the middle of the field, he's been so good and helpful in that clearing game. When you bring him back down to close defense, you lose him in the middle of the field.
Chance for Syracuse, and they make it pay off. The official, yes, was not in the crease. Waited for the official word from Dan Lugozima, and he gives it. Goal is good.
Billy Dwan, the freshman. I was asking where he was in the first quarter, right? Because he's been so good as a freshman defender playing inside, and this Virginia offense is so good and jamming it inside. That's a strength of Billy Dwan's, but also a strength is his stick skills under pressure catches it and turns his body in one motion. Can bury shots in big moments, and they're never out of a shot, meaning like you think you have him dead to rights, and he finds a way.
Kirst trying to use that big body to muscle in. Spallina finds the open man, and Owen Hiltz scores for Syracuse. The Orange, they're not done by a long shot. Get it back down to 5.
Here's the deal on this goal. Although it wasn't an unassisted goal, and that's what I've been calling for Syracuse, because they have to win these matchups. The one guy who could win a matchup draws the double, and then Spallina behind the cage is so smart. His IQ is so high, he knows someone's going to be open. So Kirst, who doesn't accuse, 3 of the best.
10 blue in 30 seconds. So you got 8 in the first field.
30-second hold there. Take a look at this. As the Syracuse staff wants an explanation.
Let's see where the hold is. I saw 2 Virginia players colliding.
Yeah, I think they gave interference too on the inside Max Rosa. He checked Xander Dixon early, who is totally away from the ball.
Cormier, that's just not fair. Syracuse had just been released from the box, but it was a 2-man advantage for the first 8 seconds of that man up, and Cormier inside is just, he's missed a couple of shots today, Clark, but he wasn't going to miss that one.
You're down 2 in terms of the numbers games. It's 6-on-4. The only way you're going to stop the bleeding if you're Syracuse is Will Mark comes up with a ridiculous save. You know they're getting a shot off 6-on-4. And look at the head of Cormier, the top of his stick.
Nice job to goose it to keep it from an over and back. Little
Sun's out,
here.
Cotter.
Yeah, Birtwistle wants to take advantage of that, but Noon says no way.
You know, the way that Virginia is playing defense, I mean, they are sloughed in big time. You know the old defensive theme in basketball, right? Inside out. They are inside out.
No chance there. Virginia takes advantage of Syracuse. Clark doing the exact opposite, not getting back in the hole. And it's an easy goal.
That's well said, my friend. Well said. You want to play defense inside out, and that's why Virginia's been so good in this game against Syracuse. Syracuse decides to go a little pressure, and then the numbers game breaks down with Cade Sawstead. And then the inside finish for Noah Chismar, and he's not...
Sun coming out as well here in Charlottesville. Getting set for a big 4th quarter, and Syracuse maybe needs a big 4th quarter from big CJ Kirst. Here it goes to his left and beats Mark high, but Noon's high. Wow.
Cotter, you know when you're having like one of those early Tuesday morning lifts and you feel like you're on top of the world? That's how Cole Kirst has felt as a Dodger over the last month. He has been so good in terms of the way that he's owning one-on-one matchups. And I mentioned earlier in this game, it's the bottom shoulder. So he's dodging left. If you look how he uses that bottom right shoulder as like a...
He came back, had concussion-like symptoms, had to sit again. Got that against Princeton. Now he's back. Schellenberger cutting. And Will Mark has been his nemesis. Charlottesville, their regular season, that is. Hiltz with the extra pass inside. Maybe forced it a little bit to Finn Thompson. Zinn's there to pick it off.
But the problem is with that, he's got to hold for 30 seconds. Cotter is, he might be your best cover guy, but you don't have anyone remotely close to him in terms of how they handle in the middle of the field with a 6-foot pole. He got the hold right there.
Solid.
Like they got correct. He's like just an older version of Petey.
This is when you need the telestrator to point him out.
And he's also jacked. I know
Right.
you have respect for his weight room game.
He's jacked and tan.
Yes.
I mean,
always tan.
oh, Burt Whistle. 25th of the year for Jackson Burt Whistle. Back to 5.
Yeah, Burt Whistle, there's Petey's dad. He's got the sweatshirt on. It must be cold because normally he likes the short sleeve shirt to show off the guns. 15-10, he likes where his Cavaliers are now, but this man-up unit, and the thing is, they're all back next year. Had to take some shots.
So Sanders got Cole hung up. Directing traffic now. Mark will come out and challenge him. Cole loses footing. Advantage for Xander Dixon, and he makes him pay.
Looked like Will Mark eventually got back into the goal area when he was chasing. And it might have hit off Mark's leg.
Let's go!
So Dixon has him hung out, right? You got to make a move here. So Mark bites to the left side, and then when he runs back, races back, I think he gets hit at first, yeah? Hits his body and then goes in. Or his stick and then goes in. But the bottom line here is offensive players, and a lot of these D guys as well. So just experience-wise, polar opposite teams.
Petey! Like he was running in from the box. That's going to make his dad happy. There he is.
Stand up, Pete Sr. Your boy's had one heck of a career. He's got one more game guaranteed at Glockner in the regular season against Notre Dame. But that's what makes Petey Petey. He's got the guts, he's got...
For sure. And he did right off the bat. I think he won 5 of the first 6 today, Clark, and never looked back. Now the Wahoo's up a touchdown and an extra point, looking to add to it. And they do with Peyton Cormier. He and Xander Dixon just keep padding those numbers, Clark.
This offense is downright scary. It's got the experience, it's got the perimeter guys, and it's got the closers. One of them goes by the name of Peyton Cormier. He scored the second most goals per game in the nation. He's legit. Play. And I don't think you could just blame it on the faceoffs. I thought Rachusa, whoa, are you
Simmons.
kidding me? This shot is pure insanity. It's 19-10 at the time. And you think, okay, now it's time for storytelling. Well, guess what the story is of this play? Absolute ridiculous trick shot by Alex Simmons. It's the two-man game again. Thompson and Simmons have done that beautifully. Alex Simmons also is a righty, and he shoots that behind his ankles with his offhand. To do that with your strong hand is one thing. With the Archers, he could fit in. He could fit in, I also think, with a Rob Pennell and the Redwoods. I just think you need a guy to have elite passing skills. Michael Sowers with the Water Dogs. Those are the 3 teams. Like if I was the GM coach of the Water Dogs, the Redwoods, and the Archers, I would think about Simmons because you have the passer to play with him.
Rosa scores for Syracuse. That didn't make Lars Tiffany very happy, but let's look at this Simmons goal.
Yeah, he's a righty. Keep in mind, Alex Simmons is a righty. He doesn't shoot that behind the back. He shoots that behind his ankles. And then the follow-up, Rosa, who's done crazy minutes on the defensive side.
Draft coming up on the 9th of May. We're going to be in Bristol with Ryan Boyle and the crew as the horn sounds on this one. Virginia Dawn, the throwbacks, and they picked up their 9th win of the year, Clark.
Fear the throwbacks. If I'm the Cavaliers, I might ask Lars Tiffany to throw a tie on again, and we put those old buckets on, Cotter.
For Paul Carcaterra and our entire crew, I'm Chris Cotter. Thanks for watching, everyone. So long from Charlottesville. Now it's on to